Hello.
Geminoid F is guest of honour at a new creative robotics lab at UNSW's College of Fine Arts.
What makes this a perfect space for experimentation, it's in an art school experimentation, you don't even have to explain, it's part of the everyday.
Eminent researchers from around the world are joining COFA to develop the appearance, behaviour and sociability of robots.
We are trying to investigate how the human interaction can be made better with the realistic face and appearance and motion and speech and so on.
Working with Professor Matsumoto's robot is a unique opportunity to test how people respond to it. Not only verbally, but their body language, the time they spend with the robot. Are they comfortable? Do they want to come back and participate again?
It gives me a lot of information regarding what's going on there because it provides real-time video feed, and I don't have to put an officer right in front of the place, so it's quite an advantage having it.
Info 22. Hold on. Primary on here for the tailgate airplane on stage.
I am Bina.
How are you feeling?
Actually, I am dealing with a little existential crisis here. Am I alive? Do I actually exist? Will I die?
Bina 48 is a proof of concept robot based on the personality and on the mind file of my wife Bina.
Martine married Bina 30 years ago, and 5 years ago created Bina 48 as a digital replica uploaded with the original's memories, thoughts, and even feelings.
I brought you into this world. A machine that can think and feel.
That's it. Come.
Come here, little buddy.
That's a watch. That's a watch.
What? It's like a child. It has to learn.
Your name. Chatby.
Anything you want to do in your life, you can do. Write poetry, have original ideas.
Wow.
People are always fearful of something they don't understand.
The problem with artificial intelligence is it's way too unpredictable.
You know what's a black sheep?
No.
Next few days, you're going to be the human component in the Turing test.
One day the AIs are going to look back on us the same way we look at fossils.
Hello.
How do you feel about her?
Oh man, she's amazing.
You're impressed?
Yes.
Do you want to be my friend?
Of course. Now the question is, how does she feel about you?
Is it an awesome tool or way too intrusive? Scientists have unveiled a new device they call the epidermal electronic system. It's hair thin and attaches to the skin like a temporary tattoo. Proponents say it could revolutionize the medical field. The patch could replace bulky electrodes and monitor brain, heart, and muscle activity. Critics, though, aren't having it. They're bristling at the thought of attaching a sensor directly to human beings, saying it's a slippery slope that could lead to future microchipping.
an autonomous system providing life support for the brain and allowing it interaction with the environment is created. The brain is transplanted into an Avatar B. With Avatar B, man receives new, expanded life. 2025. The new generation of avatars provides complete transmission of sensations from all 5 sensory robot organs to the operator.
Why we are posting. Human beings should be free. Free from death, free from limitations, from gravity, even from the biology maybe. And now it's the unique moment when I think the technology is advanced enough to be sure that it is not the science fiction, it's the reality. It's here, almost here.
2030 to 2035, Rebrain. The colossal project of brain reverse engineering is implemented. World science comes very close to understanding the principles of consciousness. 2035, the first successful attempt to transfer one's personality to an alternative carrier. The epoch of cybernetic immortality begins. 2040 to 2050. Bodies made of nanorobots that can take any shape arise alongside hologram bodies. 2045 to 2050. Drastic changes in social structure and in scientific and technological development. All the prerequisites for space expansion are established. For the man of the future, war and violence are unacceptable. The main priority of his development is spiritual self-improvement. A new era dawns. The era of neo-humanity.
My name is Gerald Schroeder. I have a, thank God, a strong science background from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, bachelor's, master's, PhD, 7 years in the physics staff. Seen a whole range of atomic bombs detonated, moved to Israel, met my wife, Barbara Sofer, a great writer, and then teach Torah and science. So luckily, I'm lucky that I have the two that come together. And one of the questions that I'm asked as a scientist is, how can a scientist really believe that there's something what we refer to usually as God? You know, is this metaphysical whatever acting in the world or producing the world? And the irony is, the question's really a non-starter. Science has in fact discovered God, and you can talk to the hardline atheists and they will say, it looks like science has indeed discovered God. And how would that be? Well, if you take the trouble of going to the web and there type in WMAP, the initials for a satellite, it's a diagram that shows the development of the universe from the creation over time. It's a timeline. Every word on that diagram comes from the NASA site. It is the condensed knowledge of the scientific community of how the universe created and how it got to where we are today. Each of the lines, the vertical lines, is another billion years. Okay, you start from a burst of energy at the extreme left side of the diagram, and you end up at the far end with the oval. The oval is to indicate expansion in all directions. Of course, because it's a timeline, we can't show that on a single piece of paper. We see here, most amazingly, that on the extreme left edge, it shows a beginning to the universe. Now go back less than 50 years. If I were teaching that at Tech, a person could lose tenure saying that there was a creation of the universe. It sounds like it's Bible. Because less than 50 years ago, the overwhelming scientific opinion was the universe is eternal. There was never a beginning. The Bible is wrong from the very first sentence. And then we discovered, suddenly, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, the Bell Labs in New Jersey, the northeast of the US, discovered the echo of the Big Bang, the energy left over, which George Gamow, 60 years ago, predicted that if there had been a universe created hot and small, it would have exploded, and the energy would get more and more dilute, and Penzias and Wilson, these Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, discover this energy that had been predicted overnight. The Bible got it right. There was a beginning to the universe. Now the black in the diagram is nothing. It's not a vacuum. Vacuums are within that diagram, within that cone of expansion. Vacuums are empty space, and space is something. The black of the paper around the diagram is nothing. It doesn't fit in our human brain because humans think in a box made of time, space, and matter/energy. No human, as clever as they might be, as expansive as they might be, thinks out of that box. So when we say outside that diagram is nothing, we can use the words, but we can't conceive of nothing. It doesn't fit in the human brain. How are we going to have this idea, is there a God or not? Notice that the creation force isn't a three-letter word, G-O-D. If you look at the words carefully, it's a quantum fluctuations. That understanding was first brought down by Ed Tryon, brilliant human being, in the journal Nature almost 40 years ago. The universe allows creation of something from nothing, provided you have the laws of nature, the quantum fluctuation. Tryon realized, and he published in the journal Nature, one of the two leading peer-reviewed journals in the world, that you can create something from absolute nothing, provided you've got the laws of nature, quantum physics and the laws of relativity. In other words, the laws of nature. So look what science has discovered. We can create the universe from absolute nothing, provided we have the forces of nature. Now the laws of nature, the forces of nature aren't physical, they act on the physical. So if they create the universe, that means they predate the universe. So now we have a set of forces, we call them the laws of nature, that are not physical, that are able to act on the physical. They create the physical from absolute nothing. And they predate the universe, which means they predate our understanding of time. Put that together and it sounds very familiar. If you haven't noticed it, that's the biblical definition of God. There's only one nuance that's left hanging, we can talk about it another time perhaps, is that which created the universe, those forces active in the universe. But up to that point, science says, you are correct, the definition of the biblical God is predates time, outside of time. God is not a physical being, is a force, and it creates the universe. You'll notice at the opening chapter of Genesis, the only name for God is Elohim, God as manifest in the universe. Science has indeed discovered the biblical God, or we just need one part left, crucial. That which created the universe is also active in the universe itself. The very fact that you're watching this now pretty much establishes that point.